Does Keir Starmer care about free speech now? Well, he has just given the police a huge bollocking after they arrested the comedian Graham Linehan over a few tweets. And his health secretary, Wes Streeting, has come out and said that Parliament may need to change the law to make sure that things like this do not happen again. Are they being genuine? Or have they actually been vocal about the arrest of the comedian Graham Linehan just because they are worried about the fact that the public are going absolutely crazy about this? This has been trending all over Twitter over the past day or so, and because of the fact that Nigel Farage is in DC this week speaking to Congress about the free speech situation in the UK, and I'm sure they are terrified that Nigel Farage is going to go to Congress and is going to blame the Prime Minister of this country for the totalitarian nightmare that we are living in. So they want to clear the record and make sure that they are not blamed and their position is clear. Well, make of that what you will. We're going to go to what Wes Streeting said on GB News this morning about possibly changing the law in just a moment. But first of all, let's take a look at what Keir Starmer's spokesman has said about this. So the PM's official spokesman advised the Met to instead focus on issues which matter most to their communities. He said this is an operational matter for the police, but the Prime Minister and Home Secretary have been clear about what their priorities on crime and policing are. That's tackling antisocial behaviour, shoplifting and street crime, as well as reducing serious violent crime such as knife crime against violence and women. The Met Police Commissioner himself has talked previously about recruits joining the police to protect the public, and that he wants the police to exist to protect the public, spending their time dealing with the issues that matter most to their communities. Elon Musk decided to say on Twitter that we are living in a police state in Britain, and the Prime Minister does not agree with that. Surprise, surprise, he doesn't want to be blamed for any of this. Number 10 said the Prime Minister has spoken previously about how he is strongly in favour of free speech and the long, proud history of free speech in this country, and he will continue to do so. Do you buy what Keir Starmer is saying there, or do you think he is just going whichever way the wind blows? He's seen that this Graham Linehan thing is trending everywhere and decided, I'm going to put out a statement that makes it look like I care about free speech now. Although the Tories brought in that online safety bill, although that was their idea, Labour could have come into government saying we are going to rip up this legislation when we come in because it is a totalitarian nightmare. They did not do that. They were quite happy to see the Online Safety Act come into force. In fact, they had Peter Kyle, their Minister for Science, Innovation and Technology, say that people against the Online Safety Bill, like Nigel Farage, are on the side of paedophiles like Jimmy Savile. So I'm a little bit unsure about this. And I also would say that what Keir Starmer's spokesman has said is actually not as strong as what Wes Streeting has said. He hasn't said that free speech, what Graham Linehan said online, should be legal. He simply said the police should focus on other crimes. But Wes Streeting seems to be suggesting that actually we may need to change the law. He's actually taking some responsibility as someone in government, as someone in Parliament, and saying it might be up to us, not just the police, to sort this situation out. Let's take a look.
The Prime Minister and the Home Secretary have been very clear that in terms of policing priorities, we want to see our police policing streets, not policing tweets. Now, to be fair to the police, because they will come in for a lot of scrutiny and criticism on days like this, the police are there to enforce the laws as passed by Parliament. So if we are looking at things that the police are doing, or cases that we've seen go to court and come out the other side and thinking, that doesn't seem right, or that doesn't seem fair or proportionate or the right priorities, to be honest, that's on us as legislators, as Parliament, to sort out. And I think it's fair to say that over the years there have been well-meaning changes to the law to deal with specific problems as they arise, but what happens is you pile on more expectations on the police, and also people often legislate with good intentions but don't always see unintended consequences. And it is right, I think, in terms of the online space, there are lots of things that happen online that if they happened on our streets, in our neighbourhoods, we would expect the police to act. So things like grooming of kids, trafficking of people, drugs, weapons, and also targeted harassment of people. that's the sort of thing that if it was happening on our streets, we'd want the police to act, and they should also act online. When it comes to free speech, there have always been some limitations around freedom of speech, but whenever we're legislating in that space, we've got to exercise real care, because freedom of speech, freedom to criticise, freedom to challenge, people to say things that other people might find disagreeable or even offensive, those are rights in a democracy.
Yep.
We've got to get the balance right in that space. And I think that, without commenting on the specific case today, there have been other cases recently where I think we do need a debate about what is right in law and what is proportionate and priority policing in practice.
So there we go, that's what Wes Streeting had to say. I don't know about you, but it sounded like he has his head screwed on a lot more than Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer just trying to shift the blame to the police, but Wes Streeting there thinking carefully about how legislation might need to change, actually taking some responsibility as a member of cabinet and a member of parliament. I don't know about you, but I would rather have that guy as my prime minister than Keir Starmer. I don't think he's perfect, but he actually seems to have a bit of common sense and to have thought through his opinions. I tell you what, you guys tell me what you think in the comments below if you think either of them, Keir Starmer or Wes Streeting, are being genuine. But I think that Keir Starmer is not being genuine and that he doesn't care about free speech and he's just trying to make sure Nigel Farage doesn't blame him. But I think that Wes Streeting there actually showed that he does genuinely care about this issue. I'm not saying that he's a passionate free speech advocate and he's out protesting all the time and to make he hasn't been super outspoken against the online safety bill, but he seems to recognise the importance of free speech, unlike Keir Starmer, I would say. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm Chloe Dobbs, thank you for watching this video, and if you want to make sure you don't miss out on any news updates or great videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell. See you next time.